Are we at the end, or is it a new beginning? Are they coming to destroy us or to protect us? Will there be a space to move away from geopolitics and talk about universe politics? Such a heated debate has recently arisen among some people in the world. The reason for this is that there has been a huge stir around the world about an object that is rapidly approaching us from the distant universe. Initially discussed on social media, this issue has now reached the mainstream media. This object, now known as 3Aura/Atlas, which entered the solar system through the dark region of our galaxy, the Milky Way, was initially thought to be a comet. But now several leading scientists have also expressed the opinion that it could be a strange spacecraft coming from outer space. Such objects that travel between stars are called interstellar objects. Only two such objects have been identified in human history before. They were ʻOumuamua, which arrived in the solar system in 2017, and 2Borisov, which arrived in 2019. Although some scientists argued at the time that ʻOumuamua was an artificial spacecraft from another solar system in the universe, it was later identified as a natural comet. However, due to the size of A3/Atlas, its unusual trajectory, its acceleration, and many other reasons, it has attracted great interest around the world. This strange object, which is moving toward the sun at a speed of 61 kilometers per second, was first identified on July 1st. Although there was some unusual suspicion about this object among social media users who are interested in the universe, a controversial statement by an astronomer at Harvard University has now attracted great interest around the world. Professor Avi Loeb, director of the Galileo Project, which is conducting research on extraterrestrial intelligence, says that this mysterious object could be a spacecraft belonging to advanced nuclear-powered alien life in the distant universe. Although NASA still says that it is an ordinary comet, Professor Avi Loeb says that it does not show the characteristics of an ordinary comet. Loeb says that the light emitted by this object is not reflected by it. The professor suggests that it emits its own light, and that this light is emitted by a nuclear energy source on the surface of 3Y/Atlas. A photo taken by the Hubble telescope on July 21st shows a glow on the side of the object facing the sun. Normally, the glowing area of a comet can be observed as a tail behind the object. Dust particles are pushed back by solar radiation, creating this glowing tail. But according to Loeb, this object is observed as a frontal light. 3I/Atlas will reach its closest approach to Earth on December 17th of this year and is scheduled to leave our solar system and be pulled into the distant universe in January 2026. If this is indeed a comet, it would have to be more than 12 miles long to get this much light from the sun, Loeb says, and that is why this light is unnatural. According to Loeb's calculations, it is about 20 kilometers long. He adds that it is unusual for such a massive object to float freely between the constellations. No such large rock has been recorded in interstellar space since the distant past of about 10,000 years ago. 3I/Atlas, which orbits in the opposite direction to the direction the planets travel around the sun, does not travel between the sun and the Earth when it is closest to the sun. It travels beyond the sun. Therefore, it is difficult for us to observe it when it is close to the sun. It may be traveling unseen from the closest point to the sun, performing an engine burn and suddenly changing its orbit and going into the inner circle of the solar system, according to Loeb's research paper. Frank Baird, a professor at Harvard University, believes that this object is guided by some unknown intelligence. Baird says that there are signs that it is traveling in a planned orbit within the solar system. 3I/Atlas is scheduled to arrive on a very unusual path and will pass close to 3 planets, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. It has become clear that the path of the object is very rare. Even scientists who argue that this object is a natural rock admit that. Loebila's team believes that the probability of a natural space rock randomly floating along such a path is as small as 0.005. Although Professor Loebila's opinion is not so accepted by the majority of scientists, he is presenting a research paper this time that does not rule it out. Loebila expressed the opinion that the space object ʻOumuamua, which entered the solar system in a similar way in 2017, could also be an alien spacecraft. Later, as it was scientifically identified as a natural object, the credibility of Loebila's alien theories decreased. But this time he has presented a more detailed paper on 3I/Atlas, stirring up the world's cosmic space.